Welcome to BlendedTV. My name is Dave Rafus. I'm the host, and tonight we have joining us Ashley Carson. Ashley is really nervous about coming on BlendedTV tonight, so she's not actually. So I figured that I'd start off with a couple questions for Ashley to get her rolling. Before I do, let's introduce you. So Ashley grew up playing Tier 1 soccer, has been to nationals 5 times. This experience has opened her eyes to what training and commitment really mean. She finished her nutrition degree and has future plans of becoming a naturopathic doctor. Ashley is also a level 1 CrossFit trainer. Her experiences through sports, university, and working at Popeyes has given her a wealth of knowledge about nutrition, supplementations, and how this is going to be used to both improve health and sports performance. Welcome to BlendedTV.
Thank you.
So we're gonna play a game to start off.
Okay.
Have you ever played Would You Rather? Yes, you have.
Yeah.
Everyone's played Would You Rather. Okay, 4 questions.
Okay.
Number 1, would you rather be the funniest person in the room or the most intelligent?
Oh man, it depends on the crowd. But I guess the most intelligent, because if you're smart, you can be funny at the same time because you're witty. So both, but smart, intelligent.
Okay. Let's just go to question number 2. Would you rather talk your way out of any situation or punch your way through the situation?
Probably talk my way.
That's a good, I figured that. Question 3.
Boring.
Would you rather squat 300 pounds or be able to run a 5-minute mile?
Probably squat 300 pounds.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
I can't do that. Actually, I can't squat 300 pounds. Last question. Would you rather train with Brooke Wells or with Rich Froning?
Brooke Wells.
Okay.
For sure.
Let's get to business.
Okay.
So before we get into discussing the program that you have coming to BlendedTV or Blended Athletics, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about goal setting. You've got a vast background in sports, and since then, going through university, you've turned your attention to like the actual training side of it. So just straight CrossFit.
Yep.
So goal setting has always been important in your life. Is there anything that you've kind of done differently now than what you were doing when you were younger for setting goals?
Yeah, I think a big part of my goal setting now is really focusing on making sure it's my own goals. When I was younger, I started playing soccer, and my parents signed me up, and so I'd go to soccer and I did what the coach said, and my goal was to be good at whatever the coach said was to be good at. So I always set my goals based off of what someone told me I needed to do.
Yeah.
Growing through that, I mean, it worked for a long time, but then I kind of stopped being able to put as much time and effort into someone else's goals for me, and I wanted to really focus on what do I want for myself. Now that I'm not playing on a team sport, like I'm coming to the gym for myself, what are my goals? So I focus more on myself and really thinking about what do I want for my future, how am I going to get there?
Yeah. So goal setting's an interesting topic. It's something that most people kind of look at and they think, you know, they set goals for 1 month periods, 3 month periods, 6 month periods, a year period. I think the big differentiator, and Ashley and I were talking about this before we kind of came on air, was that for a lot of our more elite level CrossFitters and Olympic lifters in the gym, their goal setting happens on a daily basis. I don't think most of them even realize that they're doing it until we put it in the perspective of what we're doing. But with goal setting, we talk a lot about how you approach a workout, and that in turn is goal setting. So give everyone an example of, like, for yourself, how do you approach a workout on a day-to-day basis?
So yeah, typically when we're doing a workout, so Fran, for example, like we've talked about before, 21, 15, 9 thrusters and pull-ups. So you're like, okay, how am I going to get through this workout the most efficiently, so I can eventually do the whole thing, no stops, get through it, I'm fit enough to get through it. But until you get there, you have to set the smaller goals. So you're like, okay, 21 reps first. How am I going to break that up? Maybe you're going to do 11 and 10. For me, that's probably what I would aim for. And then I would do the same for my pull-ups. And I would make my goals to get through those chunks of work, of reps at a time, until eventually I can link it all together. I don't have to take those reps.
Yeah. So you base your goal like on the strategy that you approach that workout with.
Yeah.
And then you determine whether or not that goal was successful that day or not.
Yeah.
So I think that with like those of you that are coming in doing the WOD of the day, it's really important before you begin the workout to kind of look at the workout, look at how you want to approach that workout, and set that workout template as your goal. So whether it's taking something and going unbroken, using a specific weight, hitting a certain number or time, or even if it's just finishing an entire workout. Whatever it is, setting those goals is going to help kind of you guys make those steps towards the bigger goals that are your 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, 1 year goals.
Yeah, well, and especially like in a CrossFit gym, if you're consistently training, you're coming in every day, you're not going to feel the same every day. So setting the goals daily is important because you need to tune in to what's going on with your body. Like, how do I feel today? Am I going to be able to do this workout within the time cap? Should I scale it? So it's easier to accomplish your goals if you make smaller ones one at a time to get through those smaller things so you can eventually get to the big one.
And nutrition. I mean, you're a nutritionist.
Yeah.
The same approach can be said when it comes to your day-to-day eating.
Yeah, exactly. You got to just focus on how do I feel today? What kind of training did I do? How did I sleep last night? What demands do I have? Do I have to work all day, or do I just get to hang out at home? So you're like, okay. Or the other thing is if you haven't been eating well and you're feeling crappy about that, instead of trying to say, I'm going to be completely a clean eater and eat really, really healthy today. It's like, no, like let's start with smaller steps. Let's make...
I don't want to drink any pop today.
Yeah, exactly. One thing at a time. No pop. Like, let's not have bread. Let's have chicken and sweet potato instead.
Yeah.
So nutrition and training can be really similar in that way.
And it's so much easier if you break those up into day-long goals.
Yeah.
It just seems so much more attainable. And the other good thing about, especially in a nutrition perspective, when you set a goal, is if you kind of derail. So if you get halfway through the day and something goes wrong and you have something that's bad, then the next day is a fresh start. So you don't worry about I had this goal where I was going to go 30 days without eating.
Didn't make the whole week of eating healthy, so I'll start next Monday. Yeah, one day at a time, and even like one meal at a time. Like sometimes you might get up and you might have a really bad breakfast, and some people will say, oh, well, I'll start tomorrow. No, like lunch is hours away. You can reset, start with a better lunch.
Goals are now meal-based.
My goal at this meal.
I'm not going to eat any of this stuff. But it's true. It's a really effective way to not only approach your training, but it's a good way to approach your nutrition.
Yeah.
So taking those goals that you have and making them a daily goal, a goal for your workout specifically, whatever that may be, is really dialing those goals in and using a workout strategy as your goal. And accomplishing
recognizing
something unbroken or at a certain weight or whatever it may be.
Yeah, and if you establish that before you come in for training, you can recognize it a lot better afterwards. Instead of we all do it. We all plan out every workout before we come in and say, this is how I'm going to do it. But we don't actually establish that this is a small goal I'm doing today. And then when you leave, you don't say, proud of myself, I reached that, I did what I wanted to do when I came in today. You're always thinking I should have done this faster, I should have done that, I should have lifted heavier.
But we do that, but I don't think that our members all do that.
Plan out their workouts?
Plan out the
goals.
workouts.
No, yeah.
So that's what we're trying to get across, is that it's really important for you guys to sit down before you actually start your workout and plan out how you're going to approach that workout. And that approach is in theory your goal. So if you struggle with it, that's what our coaches are here for. So grab a coach before the workout and be like, okay, I'm not sure 100% how to approach this workout, and we'll help you talk through and establish that goal for the workout.
A lot of times people are coming in, if they're newer athletes and we're going to do a workout, they'll say like, how do I break this up? Like, what do I do? And they'll ask the coach, which is awesome. Like, we want you to ask that. But I'll always say to them, oh, this is what I would do. This is what I suggest. Pretty soon, you're going to be able to decide that for yourself. You'll know yourself well enough that you can make that for yourself. So in that time is when I could say like, that's goal setting.
Yeah.
This is a good way that you can set goals for yourself by learning about how you can do your workouts.
So in your new program coming up,
Yeah.
you're going to be working with women.
Yes.
And part of that is going to be setting goals.
Yeah.
So tell everyone a little bit about what this new program is all about.
So, super excited about this program. It's what I wish I had when I was young, getting into athletics, even into my last few years of high school when I was in soccer and going to nationals. I was left to figure out a lot of that nutrition stuff to myself. So it would have been amazing to have a community or a support system for women and girls like me who they're motivated. They go to the gym every day. They do everything they're supposed to do, what they think is right. And they're just not really reaching their goals, whether it's like a mental or a physical goal. If you're not getting there, that can cause a lot of like negative self-talk and like low self-confidence if you're not reaching those goals. So what I really want to do is provide that community or support system for the women in the gym and for women outside the gym as well.
So what's the name of the program?
It's called...
You just came up.
I just came up with it like today. It's Flaunt Fitness and Nutrition, or hashtag Flaunt Nation.
And there's meaning behind that.
Yeah. So I thought it was a really good name. It's fun. It's a little bit flirty, but there's also the meaning where it's empowering self-confidence. You don't need to change the way you are. As women, as athletes, we're really capable. We're really strong women. We come here every day and we work really hard. You should be able to flaunt that, show that off, and be proud of it. So that's a really big meaning of the meaning behind flaunt.
I love it. I
Yeah.
feel like we should make a boys club with
Boys.
flaunt.
No, boys
Flaunt
can,
strength.
No boys
men
allowed.
or something.
Yet. No boys allowed yet.
So who is it for exactly? Because that's changed as well.
Yep. Originally, it was just a smaller group, so females ages 15 to 25 or 30. But I had a lot of interest from some of the older girls in the gym. So I was like, you know what? Come on in, let's do it. And now I just screw the age limit. Everyone can join.
You can't say screw on TV.
Oh.
Just kidding. You can say whatever you
I was
want.
like, oh no, what do we do now? Forget the age limit. All the women can come. I'm pretty close with most of the women in this gym, so I'm happy to help them. I want them to come in, and I want to be that support system for them.
Yeah.
I want to really give them the tools to come in. They do their workout, they do their thing, and then they go home, and they're like, what do I do? How much do I eat? What do I eat? When do I eat? And what at those times? So I want to give them the tools that they can feel confident in doing so on their own.
So on a broad range, what are the main topics that you're going to be focusing with this group of women?
Mostly nutrition and fitness training. So we will do some group sessions in the gym as well. But yeah, mostly nutrition, and then we'll have subcategories. So there'll be like, what happens with my hormones when I train? What happens when I don't sleep at night? Or what happens to my hormones when I eat certain foods, and how does that affect me and my mood and my training,
Yeah.
etc. Goal setting, injury prevention. What else is there?
Well, I think ultimately, like, as building that community, the topics will
They'll
be based
arise.
on what
Whatever
the
people are
need is,
facing
right?
at that time. Yeah.
And when's the whole program start?
It starts in November. The first session we're doing is Saturday, November 12th. And that's going to be in the gym. And so it's going to be a 6-month program. It starts in November, but it's really not a huge commitment. So it's really inviting if you can't commit to doing like a 3-night-a-week thing. Once or twice a month, depending on the demand and if there's material we want to go over really quickly, or if we want to get out do some other activities as a group, not in the classroom or in the gym.
So not only will you guys be meeting 1 or 2 times a month, you also have created a private Facebook group, which is basically a platform for everyone to be able to share girly stuff.
Yeah, there are girl questions.
My discomfort just went through the roof. But it gives you guys a private spot to be able to talk about things that maybe you're not comfortable talking about around someone like me.
Around the guys, and like posting on our gym community page. It's like, oh, I wouldn't want to post that there. But already, like, I started up the group about a month ago, and I've been chatting with everyone, and we did a couple surveys to find out what everyone's really looking for, and I already got lots of questions and lots of stuff that people are dealing with that they wanted to ask me right away. So and I'm pretty approachable too in the gym. If you want to come up and chat with me about it, like, I'll talk to you about it for hours. So the group is awesome, but it's also me just here. Yeah.
And it's not just for women at Blended Athletics. So anyone can be involved in this.
Yeah. So if you're not a member of the gym, I'm still really happy to have you come in.
What if you don't train right now?
That's totally okay too.
So this is just a source for like health and nutrition.
Yeah.
And it's 100% free.
Absolutely.
For 6 months.
6 months. Hanging out with me.
And how does everyone sign up for this? It's a good question.
That's a good question. Yeah. So far, I've just been talking to people about it and inviting them to join. But yeah, I guess if someone has interest, you tell me.
I'd say that either come into Blended.
Come into Blended.
And
shoot me a message on Facebook.
Yeah. We get an email on here. We'll get an email address, and then they can email you.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
So, outside of that, anything else on the new group that you want everyone to be aware of? Starts November 12th.
Starts November 12th.
It's for
just
all
show
ages.
up, 9 a.m., Blended Athletics.
It's free, and it's a source for women to basically talk about anything.
Yeah.
Awesome, Ashley. I'm excited to hear how it goes.
I can't wait.
Guys, that's it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in to BlendedTV. We'll see you next week at 9 p.m. on Thursday.